Hey guys, so I'm tired of saying my intro, so I'm not going to. So here's the video. Okay, so today I am going to be doing a full face of products that I hate. So first of all, I just want to say that I use the term hate very loosely. Obviously, it's just products, so like I'm not that mad about it. And also, just because I don't like these products doesn't mean that they won't work for you. I actually like a lot of products that I know a lot of like bigger beauty channels don't like, and vice versa. So, and as a matter of fact, a few of these products that I'm going to be talking about, I hear so many people rave about and they just didn't work for me. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. And I just wanted to be said that I am actually going to try and make these products work. So whether I'm like using a new technique or just playing around with it a little bit more, I'm not gonna like purposefully make them perform poorly. So maybe I will even try one of these again and they will work for me this time. So we will see. I'm nervous, I'm skeptical. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see. I am going to start off with my eyes first, and to prime my eyes I'm going to use this concealer. So this is a Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer, and I don't like this mainly because it just creases on me really badly. I actually bought this, oh that was a lot. I actually bought this because Tati Westbrook recommended it and she like raves about it, so I bought it. And yeah, it creases on me, which a lot of concealers do, but I just think that I need a concealer that is a little bit more of a matte consistency, but not too matte, because in my eyes, my under eyes will get like kind of like dry and crusty, not crusty, but like dry and like crepey and wrinkly. But that being said, if it's like too liquidy and not matte enough, then it'll just crease really badly, which is what this one does. So I have to have one that's like right in the middle. Okay, so now to set that, I'm actually gonna set this with a product that I do like, just so I can give the eyeshadows I'm about to blend a really fair chance, because I don't have a setting powder that I don't like. So for my eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Mad for Mattes palette. And I bought this palette because a lot of people recommended it. Specifically, I'm pretty sure Kathleen Lights recommended this palette. And I thought it was so beautiful, but for some reason, I cannot get these shadows to blend very well on my eyes, and it's so frustrating because I really love this palette. It's only $10, so it's pretty affordable. And yeah, so I was just really disappointed that it didn't work well for me, but we're gonna try it again. I have tried this one recently and it still didn't work, but we're gonna try it. I'm gonna start with this shade right here, the third shade in. And I'm using the brush I always use because I know it works really well. And I'm just keeping this in my outer corner and in my crease a little bit for my transition shade. All right, so I actually wanted to zoom you guys in so you can see how these are performing. So far, so good. This shade is blending out really nicely. All right, so next I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this purple. I think this purple is so pretty, but I remember this being the shade that didn't want to blend out and it just got like really patchy. So let's see what it does. All the other shades blended out really nicely though, so. You guys, this purple is literally blending out perfectly. First of all, I'm kind of mad because what the heck? I haven't been using this palette for so long because the last time I used it, it didn't work. Why is it working on camera? I swear, that's like when you, oh, I just poked a hole in the black. But that's like when you go to the doctor and you're like, oh, I have a cough, I'm so sick, I've been sick for weeks. And then you get in there and like you don't cough at all and it seems like nothing's wrong with you. That's how I feel right now. Well, I mean, this is great because like I said, I really did want to use and like this palette because it's really pretty colors. So I am pretty excited actually. I mean, that's really pretty. I think I was wrong. All right, now just to deepen this up a little bit, I'm gonna go in with the black in the palette. I don't like that brush. I'm gonna use this little like pencil brush. I think that's what they're called. I keep calling them packing brushes. I'm not sure what they're called. Wow, this black is pretty nice. Like it blends out really nicely. So I don't know, you almost blend a little bit of the pigment away. I'm going back in with that purple to blend this black out a little bit more, but you almost blend a little bit of the pigment away, but I kind of like that. Like, I don't like super pigmented blacks where I start blending them out and it's not shearing the pigment out at all. So you're just blending black further and further up to your eyebrow. Like, that stresses me out. So this is nice. I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna have to take back what I said about this palette. Okay, so I will say this palette definitely surprised me, and it is like 10 times better than I remember it being. So I'm really excited about that. I am very impressed with how it's performed. However, I will say one thing. So I don't know if you can see on camera or not, but there's like kind of some choppiness through here. Like, you can see the shadow goes up to here, and then there's like a blank spot, and then it starts again, like in my crease. And I can't get the shadow to stick down right there. So that's kind of annoying. But other than that, like, this eye looks fine, I think. It might be doing it a little bit, but it's not as bad as this eye. So yeah. Okay, so next is foundation. And for that, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. So this is in the shade Soft Ivory. And again, a lot of people really hype this foundation up and talk about how much they love it. And it makes their skin look really nice. I hate this foundation. So it makes my skin look so textured and gross. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. So what I'm gonna do though, that was a lot. What I'm gonna do though is apply it with a sponge, because I actually have another foundation, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, that I hated, and then when I applied it, or I not hated it, but it made my skin look a little bit weird, and then when I applied it with a sponge, it looked a lot better. So I'm gonna apply it with my damp Real Technique sponge and see if I can make it look any better. That's not bad. That's definitely better than it's looked when I applied it with a brush. I'm gonna build it up a little bit more and see if I can get a little more coverage out of it. It smells like paint though. Like, I don't know what's in this foundation, but I feel like it's probably not good to be on your skin, which most of these beauty products aren't, to be honest. Oh, it's like a mixture of paint and Play-Doh. Okay, building it up another layer made it look like powdery and like kind of chalky and dry. That's what I was saying about when I put it on with a brush. This is how it would look. So I guess doing 2 layers with a sponge makes it look the same. So the first layer wasn't bad. It actually did look pretty nice and very skin-like actually. So maybe if you do want to try this foundation, just do like 1 light layer. However, if you have a little bit more to cover like I do, you may not like this. Because once you build it up to a better coverage, and honestly, it's still not even covering everything. I know I'm a little bit washed out right now, but I can still see some of my redness. Yeah, my skin just looks very powdery. I don't like this. I'm gonna see if I can zoom y'all in. Okay, so I know you can tell that it's not covering everything, but I don't know if you can, sorry about my ears, I don't have my plugs in, but I don't know if you can tell how powdery it is. And it's looking a little weird in here. I don't know, it's just not my favorite. I feel like it just kind of sits on top of my skin and does, like, I like a really dewy foundation, and this one just makes me look really dry, I feel like. Okay, so now for concealer, I'm gonna go back in with that Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer, and again, I just said that I don't really like how much this creases under my eyes. It's actually doing something kind of weird in my inner corner. It's looking like really heavy and kind of cakey. But it's kind of weird though, because if you remember, I had said that I didn't like how dewy it was, and it's actually acting like it's really dry on my skin now. And it's barely tacky, so it almost feels like I don't need to set it, but I'm going to, because it is still tacky and I don't want my concealer to be tacky. So I'm just gonna set this with my RCMA No Color Powder again. I do like this powder. I'm gonna actually set my face. So if you watch any of my videos, you probably know that I prefer a more dewy foundation. So for this, I don't have like a setting powder that I hate. I just don't like setting powders in general because I don't like setting my foundation. So this isn't so much a product that I hate, but more so a technique I don't like, which is setting your foundation. So I'm gonna set my foundation. I'm gonna be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder and then just this fluffy brush. I don't like setting my foundation. I have drier skin and this will make my face feel so tight during the day. So as far as bronzer goes, I actually don't have a bronzer that I don't like. Any bronzer that I've bought has been based on a recommendation from a YouTuber, and I've always ended up liking them. And I pretty much stick to the same bronzers. So I'm just gonna go straight to blush, and for that I'm gonna use this Essence Satin Touch blush in the shade Satin Coral. And there's nothing terribly wrong with this other than it's just very dry. I don't like super powdery blushes just because, again, I like to keep my skin pretty dewy. So I don't want a blush that just like is extremely powdery. I still use powder blushes, but there are some blushes that are very like, even though it's a powder, it's still very like creamy and satin almost. So it's not as powdery and drying on my skin. Okay. That's fine. It's not horrible. Like I said, it's just a little bit powdery, which isn't my preference. I forgot about eyeliner, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Liner. I thought it said liver. Okay, so this liner basically it worked really well at first, but then it started getting patchy, like literally the second use. So I haven't used it in a while, so I bet it's probably gonna work fine right now. And then it won't work again, because that's what it did last time. So hopefully I'll actually be able to show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so it did work fine on this eye, but I still stand by what I said, just because, like I said, the first time I used it, it worked perfectly fine, and then the second time it was already dried out. So I think it's just had time to kind of sit and settle back down. So I don't like that. I want an eyeliner that's gonna work consistently. And I'm pretty sure I do have a video on my channel where I'm trying to use it and it's not working. I think it's my Berry Tones tutorial. I'm not sure. It's one of my tutorials. And I said that I wouldn't recommend the liner. And I don't know if I left the clip in of me like drawing a line multiple times and like nothing was coming out. So might be on my channel, it might not be. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eye and then I'll be right back. Next, I'm gonna use this mascara. This is the Maybelline Mega Plush Volume Express. And the main reason I don't like this is just because it just doesn't really do anything for my lashes. Like, I feel like I can't build it up. And like I said before, I really need all the help I can get as far as my lashes go, because my lashes are not super long, they're not super thick, they're not super curled. And also, I don't like the wand on this. Like, it's so floppy. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on and try to build it up. I think the formula might just be too wet. And so when you go over it with another coat, it almost like wipes off the product you've applied and applies a little bit more. Like, it won't stick to itself and build up. That might be what it is, I'm not sure. But I just know it like won't build up very easily. I do think that this is a really nice natural mascara though, if you do like that. Just something to literally coat and darken your lashes. This is a good mascara for that. Okay, mascara is done. I did do 2 coats on each eyes. Another thing I realized was I don't like how fat this wand is. It makes it very hard to do your lower lash line. So that's another thing to note. It's like very round also. I like more of a kind of like a rectangular almost wand, or like, I don't know. That one's just like super round and almost just too bulky. I just don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a highlighter. This is the Ofra highlight in the shade, what is this shade? Star Island, maybe? I know the Ofra highlighters are extremely popular, but last time I tried this was my first time ever trying an Ofra highlight, and I just remembered it being like really powdery, and I didn't really like it. I know they're insanely reflective though, like, but it was just really powdery and I didn't like the way it looked on my skin. If you watch my channel, you know that I use cream highlights a lot. Those are just my preference. We'll see. This is really pretty though. From far away though, that's the thing. I like makeup that looks good from far away and up close. If you get close to my skin and you can see the makeup sitting on my skin, I don't like that. So I'm gonna look at this. So I'm not noticing it looking insanely powdery, but I feel like that's just because my whole face looks powdery at this point, so it's not necessarily standing out because everything is powdery. That being said, it does look a little powdery. Like, I can see it sitting on my skin a little bit, and I'm gonna try and like blend this in with my damp beauty sponge. Sometimes that can help. Not really. The shade is very pretty though. If you have fair skin and you do like the standard powder highlight, the Ofra highlights are beautiful and they are extremely reflective, as you can see. That's very pretty. But yeah, I just prefer a cream highlight. And honestly, I can get the same amount of reflectiveness from my ColourPop Super Shock Cheek, and this is in a cream-ish formula, so I just prefer that. Okay, now onto my lip products. So the first thing I'm gonna show you guys is this lip liner. This is by Essence, and it's in the shade Girl Next Door. So I actually love the shade of this. What I don't like is the formula. So I have very fair skin, as you can see, and I struggle to find a nude lip liner that is cool toned on my skin. Most nudes tend to pull either more pink or like berry toned or more orange. I like one that is like a brownish gray. I just really like cool tones against my skin. So this one is the perfect shade. However, when I'm applying it, it kind of, first of all, it's not very pigmented, but it just starts to ball up on my lips and it's kind of annoying. So, which I don't expect a lot from a lip liner at this price point. I think this is like $2. However, Tati, again, recommended this and said that it was amazing, it was great quality, blah, 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 amazing for the price, and I just don't really agree with that. I don't like the formula of it. So I'm gonna zoom you into my hand actually and see if I can show you it balling up. Okay, I just wanna make sure I'm in focus. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or not. I'm trying. So look, I don't know if you can see on the tip of this, but like pieces are coming off. That's what ends up on your lips when you're applying it. It just balls up and kind of flakes off. Maybe it's too dry of a consistency, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to my lips. And it's not the most pigmented, which isn't bad, but I do wish it was a little bit more pigmented. I don't know if you can see that or not. See, you can see that it's like flaking off. See? I just realized I totally forgot to do my brows, so I'll do this in a second, but I want to finish my lips while I'm here. So for this, I'm going to be using a L'Oreal lipstick. Again, if you watch my videos, you know that my absolute favorite lipstick ever is one by L'Oreal, and it's in the shade Ferris Nude. But I've also mentioned that their formula isn't really the same across the board in my opinion, and I feel like this is a good example of that. So I was hoping it would be the same formula, but just a little bit lighter, and it's not. Like, so first of all, if you look really closely to this, I know you guys can't see it, but it has like actual little sparkles in it. The other one in Ferris Nude doesn't have that. It's just like a very creamy lipstick. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not actually sparkly. This one is sparkly. So it's just a weird, like, see, it's almost like it's reflective. It's almost like a cream highlight. Like, it's very odd. I don't know, it's just weird. And it settles into the lines on my lips. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I'm gonna let this sit for just a second, and then hopefully you'll be able to see it once it settles. Okay, I don't know if the lighting situation is gonna let you see this or not, but when my lips are like this, it looks fine, but when I smile, it leaves the, like it's almost like the product gathers in my lines, so once my lips are flat, you can still see those like chunks of product almost, and I don't like that. I don't know if you can see that. There's like one here, one here, one here. So I wouldn't be mad that this product settles into my lip lines because my lips do have lines, so naturally you would assume that a lipstick would do that, especially one from the drugstore at a cheaper price point. I don't expect a product to be perfect. However, they really set the bar high with this other lipstick in Ferris Nude. This is all the way up. That's how much I've used of it. It's my absolute favorite lipstick. This one does not do that to me. And like I said, just the creaminess is so much different. Like, I don't know, this other lipstick is just like sheeny and sparkly and weird. Like, this is the other lipstick right here. It's just like a perfect cream. It's not reflective but it's a nice satin creamy finish. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. So for this, I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. pomade, and this is in the shade Espresso. So I will give a little disclaimer. I just hate pomades in general. It's not this particular one. I just cannot get the little thin hair-like strokes that I see a lot of people able to achieve with pomades. I don't know why. I have used very thin brushes and even brushes that I see other people use that work perfectly fine, but I can't get the technique down. That being said, today I do not have one of those brushes because I don't use pomades on a regular basis, so I got rid of the brushes that go along with pomades. So my brush is a little bit on the fatter side. It's a pretty small brush, but I think it's a little too fat for a pomade. So this product will probably perform poorly just because of the brush that I'm using. But I just don't like pomades in general. So I'm going to still try my best, but I have low expectations. I am just dipping it into the pomade, and then I wipe my brush on each side to kind of flatten it and make it a little bit skinnier. I just don't like how pigmented and chunky this makes my brows look. I like my brows to be a little bit more natural. Okay guys, so the brows are done, and as you can see, they're just a little intense and dark for my personal preference. I don't hate brows like this for every look. There are definitely some more intense looks that I would like a little bit more of a bold brow for, especially if I am going to be posting a picture on Instagram with really bold makeup. That's why I've kept this, so I can do a brow like that, but I don't reach for this very often because I just don't prefer this look on a day-to-day basis. But that being said, that completes this look. So just quickly to recap and let you know if I've changed my mind on anything, I'd say the only thing I've really changed my mind on the most would be the eyeshadow palette. So that did perform a lot better than how it has in the past, and I'm actually really excited about it. I'm gonna turn this light down a little bit. Okay, I just cooled the lighting situation down a little bit so you could see more of the color in my eyeshadow. I'm really sorry about the lighting. I'm really trying to work out a good setup, but I just wanted to say that the colors in that eyeshadow palette are absolutely beautiful. They blended out way better than they have for me in the past. However, I did have that one little inconsistency in my crease, but that's not a huge deal. It's still a pretty good deal for just 10 bucks for a really pretty eyeshadow palette. So that being said, I did like it a little bit more than I have experienced it in the past, basically. Everything else though, I do feel like I kind of stand by what I said. My skin doesn't look terrible by any means. It's just not my preference as far as the foundation, the setting powder, the blush, and the highlight goes. I just prefer more dewy, natural, glowy skin. And I know it looks like I'm glowy, but up close my skin just looks a little bit powdery and heavy, and I don't prefer that look. The eyeliner is just annoying. Sometimes it works great and sometimes it doesn't. The mascara, if you like a natural lash, you might enjoy this because it will not clump up no matter how many coats you put on it. And I actually like a little bit of a clump. I feel like it kind of adds to the volume of my lashes personally. The lip liner, I'll probably continue to use it because like I said, I do really like the shade. It's just not the best. I'm really on the hunt for a good lip liner that has a good formula and the right undertone for my skin. The lipstick, I don't like it at all. I don't know. It just settles in my lines and is really unflattering in my opinion. I actually kind of want to try and use it as a cream highlight though, because like I said, it's so reflective, it almost seems like it's a cream highlighter. So I think I could try and make that work. But yeah, that completes this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to have a little bit more of a say in videos that I make in the future, I do polls on my Instagram frequently asking you guys which video you want to see. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to contribute to that. And definitely let me know down below if you have any other video ideas. I would love to hear them. I'll definitely do them if I think it's possible. If I'm able to, I will do my best. But yeah, that completes this video. If you guys enjoyed it, definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.